Oh, here we go.
We're live.
Welcome to your journey. This is your mini tarot series. My name is Katarina.
My name is Sabrina.
Welcome. This is for everybody who wants to dive in a little deeper into the major arcanas. It doesn't have to be for reading purposes. It's more just for anybody who wants to learn about the major arcanas and could eventually apply it
if you do life. Yeah.
To your life or to your readings.
Yeah.
So, welcome. Hello.
So this week we're at number 4, yes. the Emperor.
The
sexy Emperor.
Masculine.
I don't find him very sexy, but she finds him sexy.
Well, I mean, the energy, right? He's a king of all kings. He has incorporated, just like the Empress, he has incorporated all the different types of kings. So mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Like, he's integrated. He's like the king of all of those. He's the one that the kings go to for extra counseling if they really, really want it. He's in his obviously healthy form, not his shadow self, because there's shadow aspects to everything. This is how we grow. This is how we learn. This is through these challenges. But in his fullness of his emperor energy, masculine, he's like the divine masculine for all those that I want to talk.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the symbolism. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we see that he's sitting on this very like rock throne, very solid throne. Nothing is going to nothing flimsy about this. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in the front he has these ram heads because he is the astrological significance of Emperor is Aries. And then he has he's all swathed in red, and red is the color of authority, of passion, of creativity, but it's also very violent rage, that there's those kinds of significance coming out of red.
It's very base chakra, so basic needs, root chakras, basic needs. So he secures all of that, right? He makes sure that you have all you need. Food.
He's like number 4. It's all about foundation.
Yeah, that too.
So he makes sure that the land is taken care of. I kind of love. He's not hot, but okay. But I get it. What you're saying. I understand the energy is hot. I mean, he's hot in one of my decks, but this one he ain't so hot. But the Emperor,
that energetic kind of essence.
It's funny how. So you tell me how you feel about the Emperor, because I have my own take on the Emperor.
Well, I mean, it's like everyone in its fullness. It's what I explained before. He is the foundation. He's so secure in his knowingness, in his power, he's like the ultimate leader. He knows how to lead, and he knows how to take the counterparts and bring them all the different types of people, use their strength, knows their weaknesses, and puts them into action, right? In a very structured and vision and focused way. But its shadow self could be very
tyrannical.
Yeah. To say it lightly.
Ego, manipulation, emotional detachment.
Yeah. If he's disaligned and not in alignment and in disarray, and he doesn't want to face his own sugar, face his own BS, well, it's going to be very externally faced. It's going to be very violent, controlling, tyrannical, like she says. That would be the best word
for the Emperor.
Yeah.
Whenever I see an Emperor show up in my readings, I right away get this to me, he equates corporation.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
He equates the structure of the matrix of all of this hierarchical kind of systems. And so and every time I see him, I'm always like, the Emperor.
Yeah, that's because you have a little trigger.
I have a little trigger on
the structure.
But if I really think about the Emperor, okay, he's he's the counterpart of the Empress.
Yeah.
Right. So the Emperor and the Empress are the perfect union in the tarot deck, right? And it's he's protective of her, and he fully committed to her.
Yeah.
As she is to him. But we're not talking about her because we talked about her last week. So this week is about him, and he
give him the platform.
As he wants. as he desires.
Aries.
Oh, yeah. I was like, exactly that. She's an Aries rising, so she understands. Yeah,
I could say it.
No, it's not that. I love that the contrast though. The yellow of the calmness, like the happiness. I guess is jovial, and her red is below. His red is prominent. Like yo, no one is effing with the Emperor energy.
Yeah, very protective too, 100%. Yeah, very, very in his fullness, right? Without the control, without his shadows running the show.
Yeah. So in love, we brought out love. He's like that's what their emperors are committed, right? Like people, like many of us could be married to emperor-like people, or it's very much a father card, and this is like a mother card, like a divine masculine, divine feminine. Yeah. It's an energy like of I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna provide for you. And not only does he provide for his family, he provides for his village, right? That's how much responsibility he has on his shoulders, this emperor. So yeah, Sabrina, he's like, if I want to be like an asshole to you right now, maybe I can, because I'm taking care of 100,000 people. I'm like, okay, right? But that's like that's the upside of it. We're going to talk about the reverse after, right? And the upside of finances is security and strategy and planning. And
it's a great planner.
Yeah, I always see the emperor as like a financial planner.
Yeah,
right. Someone, an entrepreneur.
It's a warrior,
like someone who's
a very strategic warrior.
Yeah, I guess the same thing with work. It's someone who's like a manager, right? Who's like
he's a builder too. Usually, he's able to build and
armies,
find the people that he needs. To build the vision.
Yeah, and in what else do we do? In family, I guess the same idea, right? It's like this responsible one. He's the one who takes care of his family, provides, blah, blah. And in health, it would be what for you?
For me, it would be in placing specific strictures to make sure that his health is in check. So having a morning routine would be very emperor-like, an evening routine, or very adamant in what he eats, what he puts in his body, what he puts out. Like, to me, that's how I see the emperor.
My father, Aries. That's exactly it. It's amazing. Yeah. Very regimented.
Yeah.
This is what I do. This is I don't touch. I'm like stay away. I go. It's amazing, actually. Yeah.
They have a focus. There's a focus on what they want and what they want to achieve, and then they find the structure.
And the emperor actually is not he's a now person, but he's also a future person. Yeah. He's always forecasting. He's always like, this is how I'm going to be now in 10 and 20, 30 years. And that's how he can build this village, I guess, right? Keep this village going. I like that. So what we did differently this week is that we would pick out the cards that were compatible with the emperor within your tarot readings, right? So the Empress is like, if you get these two in a reading, you know that if you're asking about a love, you know that, wow, it's a perfect union.
It's a perfect counterparts. Or even if it's business related.
If you're asking about business.
Partnerships. Exactly.
Right? And
they complement each other very well.
The other card is the Hierophant, which I find kind of interesting, which is a Taurus energy, which I find interesting because Aries and Taurus are interesting together.
Very interesting.
They butt heads all the time, but it's okay.
But Taurus is grounding. Yeah. Right? So there's a balancing out.
But I guess it's compatible because look at the red. But it's compatible because in the original Rider-Waite, the Hierophant is the bishop. He's in control of the church. Right? Yeah. He's a structure. He's the structure. He has his sermons. He does this thing. He does this. So that's why they work really well together. The church and the state. It's always been like that.
True.
That's very interesting. And then we have the Chariot, which is Cancer.
Oh.
And the Chariot is all about success and victory, home, family.
Yeah. Like bringing the vision there.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Like he's the change maker, the mover. Like that's the Chariot. It's like boom. I like that actually.
Yeah, it's true because it's true. It's very like he's the
builder.
Runner. And then you have the Chariot that brings that idea forward.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's the upright version. And now my favorite part is the reverse of him. Because he kind of, to me, feels like a reverse anyways every time I see him, but that's me. See,
But
that's how it is. Like,
there's a divine masculine there that
yeah,
needs to be kind of healed. All of us. I still have my moments. I feel like I healed a lot of it, but here we are where we still get triggered.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Because this is like in a reverse, the emperor he takes what is that when you play with authority? You're
like a rebel?
No, he's not a rebel. He's a you know what I'm
anarchist?
saying? You know, no, he's not anarchist at all. Anarchist is like going against the structure.
Okay, but what are you
He's like a manipulator of authority. Anyways, I'm gonna think about the I can't think of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
But you're talking about in what sense?
So here he's authoritative.
Yeah.
But in reverse, he is like, he takes his authority to the nth degree.
Okay.
Which he's like becomes a
manipulator.
Tyrant.
Yeah.
A tyrant, like a
tyrant.
Tyrant. Yes. Jesus. You know,
like you're looking for?
Yeah, but it's not the word I was looking for. But anyways, it's like a stallion, you know, like I'm gonna take it to the nth degree, and I'm gonna like a Hitler kind of energy, right? I'm gonna take my authority, but I'm going to exaggerate my authority.
Like I'm going to it's not going to be for the greater good
abuse
anymore.
It like an abuser.
It's not going to be for the greater good anymore. It's going to be for my personal
ego.
Yeah. So basically ego versus higher self, again, depending on which one has the control. If you've listened to our podcast on Wednesday, it was about ego versus higher self. And the way you can actually discern. And if you're not in that, and that's the thing, usually upright emperor, he's very discerning. He knows, he's radically accepted his weaknesses instead of fighting against it and trying to put these masks on. Up in reverse, he doesn't want to see those weaknesses. He doesn't want to seem weak. He's like, I will protect what my illusions and masks are to the very end. Yeah. Even if everybody suffers while I do that.
Exactly. Completely inflexible.
Yeah.
Completely me, myself, and I. Completely like rigid, like structured. Did you say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. That's okay. Sabrina's going, woo.
Psychic powers are coming in. We talked about that.
Yeah. So like if you get this card I didn't bring my deck of cards to pull out.
We can do. You keep talking, I'll bring it.
If you bring if it comes in love, and you see this and you're asking a question about love and you see the emperor in reverse, then it's like it's shut the door right away. Don't even like consider this relationship. It's a big 0 because it's complete dominance, control. It's complete like
a warning.
It's a warning. It's like stay out. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a warning sign.
You know, and if you see this in work, it's like don't go to the interview. Number one, if you're already in a job, then it's like a emperor in reverse. It's taking control. It's like abusing his power. Right.
It's basically a warning sign that whatever you're talking about or asking about, it's probably not going to be in your best interest. The person and the people involved might be very manipulative. They might not have a lot of emotional intelligence, and whatever subject you're asking about it's probably not going to go the way you want it to go.
Yeah.
And if it's about you're asking about, well, maybe you need to look at where you're being controlling, right? Where am I being controlling in a situation? If you're asking about you in a specific situation as well, right? Maybe you're being inflexible, you know, if you're asking about, what do I need to know about this party or this situation? Well, maybe you need to stop overthinking things and being inflexible and actually go to the party, depending on what questions you're asking as well.
And if it comes in finances, then you know that that's a bad investment. Then you know that it's don't even like if you're worried about if you're thinking of if money's going to come in or not, and it's like it's challenging because I almost feel like there's like mismanagement here of money.
Yeah.
So be careful with your financial advisor, your banker, or whatever, or someone in your household. Like, are you sure, like, perhaps your husband or your partner or your father is like mishandling the money, you know, like, that's what it says.
Because they usually represent a specific person.
Yes.
It could also be that, or it could be you again. Maybe you are spending too much. Maybe you're being reckless with your finances, and you just need to take a step back and be like, oh, okay. Well, let me look into
maybe
this.
I need to not shop too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then also with family, if you see this, then it's the same ideas, right? It's like a little bit controlling, like there could be tension with your parents. There could be tension with your relationship. I mean, you could be feeling controlled and dominated, or like, you'll know, I guess. But this is an interesting card. That to me, the Emperor coming in reverse is it's a very clear indication of something. You know, sometimes you have cards that are in reverse, or you're like, oh well, it could be, or could, like the Tower. If a Tower is upright or reverse, to me it's the same card. It doesn't mean anything. But this one is like the Emperor in reverse is like it's a clear warning, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're not reading the reversals, if you're not reading it as reversed, you will feel the tension depending on what other cards are there.
Yeah, because if you get it like this with the Devil, you're like,
could be an indication. Exactly, that maybe the Emperor is in his shadow self, right?
Yeah.
Since the Devil is all about those challenging, self-sabotaging, and manipulative.
Yes, it's very manipulative.
Ways of doing.
Like very like, you know, like you could, if you're asking about love here, I'd be like, get out now, immediately. This could be cheating, you know, unfaithfulness,
the desire to cheat,
or the desire, or like addictions, you know, with this. Imagine, okay, if you're even asking about yourself or whatever, this could be an addiction to drugs or whatever, or shopping even, or whatever we were talking about. But it's like, it's something to really look into. When you see the Devil and the Emperor show up, it means that there's something that we need to look into yourself at this moment in time,
or into
that is a little bit off from your regular routine, I guess, or
even look into your structures. Where is there maybe things that are rotten in your structures that you haven't looked at, or you're avoiding to look at also? And on the same time, it could, depending on how your intuition, if your intuition is not saying these things and you're feeling like all kinds of great stuff, maybe you're actually breaking free from those self-sabotaging moments, or those people could be also an indication of that too. You're breaking free from something if your intuition is telling you something else. But do pay attention, because those are very distinct warning signs.
And that brings up the Tower, which is like the breaking free from that ego, you know. And these two together, like she has I can't wait to get the Tower card, because she has a completely different way of looking at it than me.
I love the Tower.
Yeah, me
Although
too.
It's very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie.
I love it. Every time I see it, I'm like, yeah, we're breaking it down, bitches. Yeah. But this is like the breakdown of chaos. Like, it's like, it's the breakdown of a system, right? And the Emperor is like, no,
structure.
What do you mean? We're not breaking down nothing. We're keeping it like this, structured in my box, the way I created it and the way it will end. Because I have my 10, 20, 30, 40-year plan in place. And this Tower is like, no, chop, chop. We gotta divorce. We gotta
It's usually divine intervention too when you have that. It's like you can't stop the Tower moments most of the time. You can try. The Emperor's gonna try to stop it, but it's not gonna happen.
It's not happening.
No.
And the other card, which I found was interesting, we looked into these cards, is the Fool, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
If I had seen this in a reading, I would say, oh, like obviously it does. I don't think I've ever seen this in a reading come together.
No, I know I have.
It's rare. Maybe I have, but I don't remember. But like the Emperor and the Fool is like, has no direction. The Fool is like, I'm going and I'm just jumping into the unknown. And this guy's like, yo, I know everything. He thinks he knows everything.
Unknown. No, that's not safe over there. Like that's not structure. So there's a big debalance.
Aries,
unbalancement,
and Aquarius. Like Aquarius is like, woo, and Aries is like, PSA, like foot on the ground, like what?
Shut it down, bring it back here.
It's true, interesting. This is Scorpio.
Yeah.
And Aries. Interesting. But Scorpio and Aries could get along. It could be very uncomfortable.
It will be, very uncomfortable. But if both counterparts are ready to face their demons and face their structures, and if Scorpio could be a little less harsh and a little more gentle, it might be able to work.
Scorpio is gentle?
If he or he can.
Is that what you were saying, that you're gentle?
I'm saying that if the person can tap into that gentleness, yeah.
And the devil is a Capricorn. So Aries and Capricorn are interesting because they're both cardinal signs. They're both the go-getter signs. Maybe that's why they're like, you know?
Well, they will butt heads for sure. If you have one go-getter.
They do butt heads, but they work kind of like they work well in their manipulation together.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
They're the extremism of both cards, kind of. They're like the extreme shadow sides of each other. Together, they make the extreme. Like, they're extreme darkness
or shadow aspects
will
actually come up. Yeah,
the full ego here happening here.
Yeah,
domination.
Unless you're using your ego, unless you're actually using it for good, sometimes you
cut the deck.
Sometimes you can actually use. There's certain situations, intense situations, where it's like, let's say you need to get out because your person is abusive, and then you use the shadow side to manipulate your way out safely. You know what I mean? That could be an interesting kind of way of working together.
The Emperor would be the one making its way out.
Emperor, and let's say it's coupled with the devil, where it's like, oh, you need to be manipulative so you can get out of this very dangerous situations. This is like certain, like we were talking about in our episode on Wednesday, ego versus higher self. The ego is there to protect you. So sometimes the ego is going to come in to save you from a very intense situations. It's very rare that this happens, but if it does, sometimes this could be that moment of hey, if you want to survive, if you want to move forward, because to me, the Emperor is also the survivor, right? He is the ultimate. He's going to go through every single challenge, whether, the whole point is to survive. So the devil could be, oh my God, if we don't get out of this and we don't, for example, lie in the situation, we might die. So, you know what I mean? Could be seen like that. There's so many nuances. That's what I love about tarot. And that's why it's so important to go with your intuition. And to go with not only what the cards mean, but also what comes
get
out.
To the devil soon enough.
Always, of course.
In 11 cards from now.
Here you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look now. What we do is we'll pick I'll go find the Emperor card, and we'll
see what comes before and after. We always do this in every single segment and every card that we're going to do. We're going to give you a couple of examples. I mean, we already gave you so many examples, but now we'll actually
tie it in with other cards.
Tie it in with an actual reading.
And once Sabrina finds it, and you're gonna see my beautiful Emperor here. He's a hottie.
Yeah, that one definitely.
I don't mind getting
the one I was thinking about.
Going head to head with him.
The divine masculine in this one is just
divine.
It's divine. Chrisanne, just beautiful.
Okay,
well. I love all her decks, but this one in particular is great. And we're using her deck. What is it? The light sphere.
Oh my God, he's the last one.
Last week.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna do a little.
Oh, he's the last one, so there's nothing.
Yeah. So just cut it again, my beautiful darling. Love you. Okay. So, thought he was there. Hello. Where are you? You should just be here.
Well, it's probably here, no? He's not here.
Yeah. So this is the Emperor. Look.
Oh yeah, this is the Emperor. I was thinking of the King of Wands when we're thinking about the.
Oh, he's the same guy. I think he's the same guy.
I don't think so, but this one's okay too.
Ooh, and the Eight of Swords. Wow, this is good. They always come out really challenging for us. Okay, this is the way it looks.
Interesting.
So this is the Emperor in the middle, and this is you could look at it as the future and the past. If you want to look at it, the cards. We could do it many different ways to look at it,
we'll
but
do it
now,
this way. Yeah.
So the Emperor with the Eight of Swords in the past is Eight of Swords is like there's a decision that needed to be made, or she's looking in the mirror and she knows that she's feeling a lot of grief, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress about something. Let's say whatever it could be. It could be in a relationship, whatever. And the fact that the Emperor is here could be the person that is the issue. So it could be her father, it could be her partner, it could be a friend, it could be a boss, it could be anything that is someone who in her life that is, or I say her life or his life, that is older. Usually the Emperor is older and authoritative. And I almost, when I see this, so it's so interesting to do a tarot reading right now. Like, I'm not in that mindset, but now I got to go into that mindset. So like, I almost feel like, whatever the decision that you need to make, you could ask advice from an Emperor, because here you're a bit like off and you're not really sure. You're very very distressed about it. You're even afraid of your answer. You almost don't want to see the answer, like you know it. So maybe you need to look onto an Emperor for help. That's more like, okay, I mean, like I was like, okay, Emperor, what do I need to do? And he's gonna say, dude, you just need to go right. And that's all you need to do. Or you need to like ask or communicate or whatever. He's going to be very outright. And the Nine of Wands is a Sagittarius. This is a Gemini, an Aries, and a Sagittarius energy. So we have like 2 fire signs and an air sign. So already we understand the air sign is a little bit flighty. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Help me, Lord. And this is like, boom. And the Nine of Wands is like, sit with it. Sit with it. So the Emperor made a decision for you, or you made a decision for yourself that was like, but now you need time to take a step back, right? The Nine of Wands, if you look at her, she can walk right over the fence. So she's not in a bad place, but maybe she needs to contemplate a little bit and ponder over what she needs to do.
Very interesting.
So you saw it differently?
Very interesting. The way I saw it is like the present moment. Okay, there's a decision that needs to be made. You need to make it. And you have all of these past situations, past like probably past decisions that probably did not go the way you expected, and it's preventing you from moving forward because you're like, oh, but I did that once. I made a decision. I decided to open this business and it failed the last time. Oh my God, I don't want to feel that failure. And it's almost like the decision is to stand your ground and to actually do the thing, even if you're tired. Or maybe the decision is, should I close my business? And all this fear of like, if I don't close it, then I'll be in debt. I'll have all these things to do. And the actual future, the answer is stand up, don't give up, and keep moving forward. Because for me, the Nine of Wands is always that final battle. It's that last stand before you hit that cycle, before you close the cycle with the 10 of Wands. So yeah, that's the way I would see this. There's other ways too, but that could be one of the ways as well. So this, you can see it as yourself, or you can see it as somebody else that you need to go and get counsel from. Yeah. Or it could just be a question of, I need to build a structure. I'm afraid of building the structure, but there's a structure that needs to be built. And as soon as I build it, I'll feel stronger about my structure and moving forward in life. You know, that could be another way of seeing it as well. What do you guys see? I'd be very curious to see, like, what is it that comes to mind when you see this? And is it more past, present, future, or do you have another way that you like to use the 3 card?
Yeah, I used to do past, present, and future in my tarot readings, but now I just like to do it as a
just see what comes out,
general, like whatever it is, because I don't want to like focus too much on that. But sometimes it's easier when you're learning tarot to do the past, present, future, or this, that, then, you know, like there are like, a lot of people have different kinds of ways to do it, like just to, you know, yes, no, maybe, you know, like there's a lot of different kinds of trinities within the best mind, body, soul, like some people like, which if you don't know where to
if you don't know where to start, is always start with something and stick with that. until you get comfortable enough to listen to your intuition, and then you can go wild and like just look at the cards and see what they have to say to you, right? It's a good way. Like that's what I like about structure sometimes, because it does help you stay consistent. So a lot of the times when we don't know what to do, oh, I'm not good at this, and the consistency kind of like stagnates because you're just like, I can't do this, instead of just practice the past, present, now, until you get good, comfortable enough with your own confidence to do something else, right?
Yeah. And also, if you can, when you're doing your things, always have a challenge.
What do you mean?
You know, like past, present, now, but have a challenge in the present.
What do you mean?
Have a challenging situation, like a challenge.
Like as when you're asking the question?
Yeah, when you're asking a question.
Okay.
Like, so like in the Celtic cross, right? Like if there's, it's really past, present, future challenge, foundation, what's coming, right? And all the rest is like that, but it's really that. It's the past, present, future challenge. Challenge to me is a big card in a tarot spread. It says a lot of what you're resisting.
I mean, the tarot cards are meant to give you guidance. They're not meant to tell you the future. I don't believe that. They're here to give you some kind of guidance. So if you're not learning something from the tarot or the spread that you're asking, I mean, nothing's set in stone ever. You can make a decision and whatever future you saw will completely change. So to use it constructively, have the challenge and see what you can do about that challenge will actually be more constructive in your everyday life than saying, oh, what does the, what do I need to know about, am I going to be with this person? Am I going to get married? Or, I mean, they're not designed for that kind of information. They're designed to help you move forward with whatever blockages you have, with whatever you need to learn on this journey, right? They're there to help you with your intuition too. So yeah.
All right, 100%. We went off a bit. Yeah. But we went off a bit into like tarot. But back to the Emperor. I'm kidding. All right.
But
back to the haughty Emperor. You want an Emperor that lists, that's sitting on top of the world, that's a chest, holding the chess piece next to his Empress, of course. Anyways, the Emperor is an interesting energy. You can love him and you can hate him, but
you like everything.
Like everything,
100%. But I mean, we pretty much said everything.
Yeah.
We can go with the takeaways.
Yeah,
100%. Let's get that.
So
little takeaways of the Emperor.
So how can you step into your Emperor role and lead a life like a boss?
Yeah,
like in control. Like I hate to use control because I feel like it's very ego-y, right? But just like with confidence,
assertiveness. Exactly, without doubting yourself.
Trusting yourself.
Trusting, exactly.
That's what he does. He trusts himself.
Yeah, he can 100%. He
100 P.
He trusts himself so much that he's okay with making bad decisions also. He trusts even the bad decision he makes because it's probably going to bring him where he needs to go or learn the lessons that he needs to learn in that moment as well, right? So he doesn't turmoil. He doesn't like self-martyr when he actually makes a bad mistake because he knows it's part of the journey as well. That's the fullness of
self-sabotage or self-victimizing.
Victimizing, exactly. And then the other one was in what areas in your life do you think you need more structure? Is it in finances? Is it in love? Is it in the way you make decisions? Is it in maybe it's just around your house? Maybe everything's all over the place and you don't really feel solid in your home because you have so many boxes everywhere or everything is messy, right? The Emperor, he's in an environment that's structured so it's easy for him to go and do the things and get to the things that he needs to get because it's all about that. It's almost like the restaurant business where everything's placed in a specific way so you can get the food ready, serve to the client and get everything they need, right? It's everything structured perfectly in an organized way that just facilitates and doesn't waste time, right?
Yeah. And the third takeaway is very good. Very nice. Am I being too controlling in my life or in other people's lives? Hello, are you being an emperor with other people? That's a big one.
Yeah. Or where am I being controlling?
In what areas of my life am I being controlling?
Yeah.
You know, and that could be finances or people, and relationships, and because we tend to control, become emperors and empresses in our relationships as well, where I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah. And why am I being controlling? It's because I don't trust myself.
But don't when you ask your why, don't explain too much.
No.
Don't hold on too much to that explanation, right?
Yeah.
Honor, release, let go.
Yeah, but accept too, right? Why are you, like, for me, it's very important to see, like, where am I being, like, if I'm looking at a challenge, the why helps me accept and release the things. But it's true what she says, you can actually get attached and start self-victimizing. Oh yeah, I don't trust because
my father.
Yeah. And then you get stuck in there.
And my father did this to me. My father did this to me.
The storylines. The storyline's not important. It's more like, oh, that's where it is. I love, accept, I accept, I love, I forgive, and I have compassion for those parts of myself, so I can release it. Big. That's how you release. Yeah.
All right. I think this is good.
That's Emperor. That is your episode. And we'll tag over here. We'll put a little box for the Wednesdays if you're interested in diving a little deeper in ego versus higher self. And we'll see you next week.
We'll be doing the Hierophant next week.
Hierophant. That should be fun too. Yeah. It's all about religion and structures.
That's going to be so triggering.
Bye. Bye.